Are we live now, Carolyn? Great. Welcome to the Wednesday webinar. I have special guests with me, Stephanie Menefee and Jeaneau Julian, and you can see them here, and they're going to talk to you today about Schoology. But before we get into their presentation, I am going to share my screen, and I am going to show you the newest things on MusicplayOnline. So we have in the online learning, in general, we have the virtual music rules. I shared this in last week's webinar. So now you have videos of them and you have the printables for these as well. In units, our 2 units we've been talking about are up. So in the drumming, you have a wonderful frame drum unit by James Allen, and you have Christian's body percussion unit. And these are accessible to your students as well as to you. And in festivals and holidays, our new unit next to back to school is healthy habits. And so here you have the hand washing, stay apart, will stay apart, and SUPPORT. So if you have any questions about these new things, you can always post it Musicplay Teachers Group on Facebook. And now we're going to learn all about Schoology with Jeaneau and Stephanie.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jeaneau Julian.
And I'm Stephanie Menefee.
And we want to welcome you to our Wednesday webinar on Musicplay and Schoology. We're really excited to get to share some things with you from Musicplay, as well as how you can incorporate those items with Schoology.
All right, so I'm sharing my screen right now. And I'm Stephanie. I teach elementary music K-5 in Tacoma, Washington. And we're going to start with a quick overview on MusicplayOnline, some of the different features that are there that we will be highlighting a little bit later on when we start talking about what we can incorporate into Schoology. So first thing that we're going to talk about real quick. Let's see, I'm logged into my account. So this is the teacher view. And there's the online learning. These are the modules that Denise and her crew have put together. And you can either scroll down, or if you know what grade level you want, you can, I'm gonna move this out of the way real quick. You can go to select grade and jump to a grade level. So I just jumped to grade 3. So within the modules, these follow along pretty well. These will follow along pretty well come September with the lessons that Denise has, and I'll show you where those are in just a second. The modules, you can very, very easily copy and paste the URL into any of your, anything that you're sharing with families and with students. So she's got the objectives, any resources, more objectives, and going through everything that she's got in there. There are videos. So you can make that full screen, which is really kind of nice, and play it. This one's the poison rhythm. Solfa practice from the Healthy Habits unit. All sorts of different things that she's got in here. All modules. Actually, I'm going to go up here to Musicplay. So there's the learning, or the modules. In the handouts, I'm giving you a screenshot of the student view so students can know where to find things. The modules are in a they're in 2 different places there. Let's see, what else do we have? Rhythm practice. Clicking on the rhythm practice tab here on the left, you've got prepare rhythm, so preparing rhythms for the students, vegetable rhythms, fruit rhythms, instrument rhythms, playing different rhythms with some of the different sounds. And playing, so the echoing rhythms, and you can choose the complexity. Play, listen, say, and clap. So the different ways of doing these. Poison rhythm, which is kind of a fun game. And then different rhythm assessments that you can do. For 4 beats, 8 beats. The next thing that we've got are the and within, for example, within Kit 3, there are, on entry of the gladiators, you've got the listening log, which has not only the music itself, but there's a PDF file that the students can work through as they're listening as a reflection or a response for the create, perform, responding standards. There's a play along, there's a cup game that you can do with this one. Instructions, there's a kid's demo on the cup game. And so that's a video that shows students.
We're now going to do a cup game for you. If this is too much for your students, leave out the B section and do 8-beat body percussion and have the students copy you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and just keep doing it until the B section is over. So in that case, you'd only teach the pattern for the A and the pattern for the C, but leave out the B and do the copycat. And that will make this much easier because the B section is quite tricky. Okay, we're going to give this a try.
So in this case, it's Denise demonstrating what they are doing. And then there are, there's a printable, there's a play along printable. Viennese musical clock, they've got kids, they've got 2 different videos of students performing it. Lots of really fun things on this one. There's worksheets here that you can download, listening logs for the different levels. Next thing is the games. Over here, go back to the main screen. Over here along the right are the different games, so all of the different games that Denise has created. And we've got, which rhythm do you hear? So this one helps students with just that listening bit. So you can, again, determine what rhythmic elements you've got, and then they listen to it being played, and then they have to choose the appropriate rhythm from the list. And the last thing that is on here that we would like to show you, if you're watching this, you probably know about this already, but if you go to webinars down here, it'll show all of the different webinars that have been done and webinars that are coming up. There. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to sign out of my account and let you see the way that the student view is a little bit different. There's a student site guide. There are tutorial videos. So this is student view again. There's the online learning module link here. There's also the big orange button for online learning here. So your students can click on either one of those to get to the online learning modules if you are not linking them directly. So we are going to move on now to the Schoology portion of our webinar, and I'm going to give Jeaneau control.
All right.
She-
Stephanie, thank you so much. And just a couple of things back on the Musicplay site that you all can see just where these online learning modules are for the students. There's tons of games, of course, and all of these things, not all of these things can be linked, but I'm going to show you how this works with Schoology. Back to the Schoology page. This is a course that I created along with Stephanie and another colleague to help teach my teachers in the Little Rock School District how you could create a course to see just how you could put everything into Schoology. We've changed the picture over here to show you how to do that and to edit picture. You could change the thumbnail, you can remove the picture. You can choose an image below. That way you can differentiate your courses so that people can see, oh, well, this is the course. And you can have up to 5 megabytes to change that of the file. So you can either go grab a file somewhere, remove the picture, or choose an image below. That's where you can change your picture. All of these folders I created were just to show where you could house your information. I repeat, I would not do this for each individual course because it would be much more difficult for your students to find. This was just a way for me to kind of set this up and show you guys how this would work. And the way that you would create a folder, add materials, add folder. Since I don't have a 6th grade folder, I can just put one in, title it 6th grade lessons. And theirs would be gray. I could add a beginning and end date. Don't have to. I could publish it or I could unpublish it. Publish on a specific date or during a specific date range. But I would just go ahead and publish it for now and hit create. And that will show up at the very bottom of the screen where I just created that folder. If I don't want it there, there's a little green line right here where I could move. Nope. Oh, actually, I can just move this. It will work, I promise. There we go. Someday it will.
Just so the green line shows up.
Yep. Perfect. There we go. So it has moved. All right, and I'll talk about what's in that 5th grade folder in a minute. But you can show all of your folders, and if you click on this little arrow, it'll show you everything that's in the folder. So like here, on PreK Lessons, I've also added a progress so that if you're wondering, hey, did my students see everything in the folder? I added a little progress button to show that they must complete a lesson. Then the teacher view, if I just clicked on there, online help guide. That is the same online help guide that is on the Musicplay site that can be found right here, student site guide. If I go back and I can click on this and it'll show up for my students right here in Schoology. Musicplay online, online lessons, and everything is there. So even if, excuse me, even if your students got lost, you can have this uploaded very quickly and show that to your students, and the full document is there. There's the PDF, and it's viewable inside of Schoology without you having to go outside, and it gives you all of the directions for your students to be able to see. Now, I know our younger students wouldn't be able to read or understand this. However, parent participation with this would be vital. So I have that in there, and then I clicked on next to proceed through the lesson with my students. Now, then I would have PreK Lesson 1. Now, since this is a link, this will link directly to Denise's PreK lesson. You cannot, it will not embed into Schoology at this point. Possibly with the rebuild, it will, and the lesson will show up here. But for now, if you click on this, it will open a brand new window, and it will link directly to the PreK lesson. Time for music, rhythm warm-ups, all about me, listen to the poem Roly Poly. So your students wouldn't even have to use the guide. The guide is there as a just in case. That's kind of what I had for my pre-K students. This link up here at the top is what you call a breadcrumb link, and it will get you back to your course page. And I've done something similar with kindergarten. Except I added an all about me link. So again, you can either click the down arrow or you can click on the lesson. The guide is there. The kindergarten week 1 lesson is there. And with this all about me, I put in a little video recording. And I had one student, a teacher, who actually turned in something. And you won't be able to hear it because she did it on her desktop, which doesn't have a computer. But I was able to give her feedback as well. So here's what I did. I created a video to tell my students what I wanted them to do. Hi, friends. I would love for you to tell me something about yourself. For example, my name is Miss Julian and I love teaching music. What do you love to do? And so the students would respond back and say what they enjoyed doing. And you can see the comments here of the other 2 administrators on this course, Cheris and Stephanie, that we had a little conversation going between us about how this would work. And up here, whenever I received a submission, you can see I received 1 out of 23 submissions. So you'll be able to see what your students submit. Seisha had a submission, but like I said, you couldn't hear or see it because she was doing it from her desktop. But I heard her when she did it. You can put in a grade here. And I also submitted some comments to her. But I can't see them right now. I wonder. Ooh. You can see where you can see who's on time, which ones need grading, what's late, what's been graded, and how many have not been submitted. So you can easily keep track of your student data and who turned in what. Let's see if I can click on her name one more time. But this is where you can submit a comment. And I had some comments submitted there, but I cannot see those right now. Even though this is mine. Ooh. Sorry, I got distracted because I don't have both of my accounts listed on here, but that's okay. That's neither here nor there. So if we want to look at another grade level, 3rd grade, we put in a quiz. So again, you have the online help guide. You have the lesson that's attached. And then you have a what do I know quiz. You can see here, you have several different tabs that you can go through. So with the questions, Which instrument belongs in the string family? What's the term? Put a point with. You can see there's different types of questions. So we have a multiple choice question, we have true, false, and we have matching. So you have different questions that you can add in. You can add in extra instructions if you needed to. You can set a time limit. You can say how many times a kid could do that. Randomize the order of questions. How cool is that? You can even have a Spanish language keyboard. Didn't know that. You can have students review the questions, resume a test. They can view their submissions. So the questions that were there, this is a preview so that you know what it looks like for your students. Start new attempt. So you would have which instrument belongs in the string family? Violin. What is the music term for the pulse of the music? So this is exactly what your students would be able to see. So is on a line, me is on a line below. Nifty Swifty. I didn't write this quiz. I had chairs actually wrote it, but it's neat to be able to manipulate and see just how your students would be able to respond. Quarter note. See. And it draws the line. That's pretty cool. Okay. Best. B. So not only do you have the letters, but you have the arrows drawing back and forth as well. And then your students would hit submit. You can see the results here. And you can see how many students attempted and how many did not. Now these students are teachers from my district that took a course with me a couple of weeks ago. And this was given to them just so they could see how this works. I gave them an access code to this course so that I had students that I could give you guys a demonstration with. So not only do I see the information here, but it's also in the gradebook. And Stephanie does have this, this is in our notes, as one of the slides where you can see all of the different assignments that the students would have. I even set up a Teams meeting during one of my professional developments just to see how it would work. So all of their assignments would be there. You could see their grades. You could input grades here. You could also input them within the course. View the student's completed test quiz. It took them 2 minutes and 55 seconds to take it, and that was their score. So a lot of data can be gathered from this particular LMS without you even having to do anything extra. So I'm sure you're wondering, well, how do I do all of this myself? I'm so glad that you asked. So with that folder that we created earlier, we can do something similar right now. I'm going to walk you through it so that you will have the tools that you need to be able to do the same. So it's 6th grade lessons. I click on the folder that we just created. Add materials. So let's say I wanted to add a file. Ooh, should be interesting. I could add a file, I could add a link, I could add an external tool. Let's just add a link. So I would need the URL and a title. So I'm going to come over here to Musicplay. And since it's 6th grade, an account, it doesn't matter if you're in the student account or if you're in the teacher account. Select a grade, just like Stephanie showed us. And I'm going to scroll down. Oops, scroll too far. Scroll down to 6th grade. And I'm going to grab the August 3 back to school module link. I click here, right click, copy. I go back to my tab over here in Schoology. I put my link here, paste it in, and I'll say 6th grade, week 1.
Week 3, Jeaneau.
Do what?
Week 3.
Oh, you're right. Week 3. If I wanted to align learning objectives to this, you can do that too. I know, totally mind-blowing. So for me, I'm in the state of Arkansas. So I would go down to state standards, select Arkansas. I select curriculum framework because I know that's where I found them the last time I looked. They are not updated, because we recently had an update, but at least I could, if I wanted to, use these. And I'm at grade 6. Let's just go with responding for right now, because we're really just kind of wanting them to perceive and analyze. I'll just say analyze. So now I have to click through all of these: learning objectives, state standards, Arkansas, curriculum framework, fine arts music, grade 6, music, 6CR. It gets very specific. You have to get all the way down. We'll choose this one. Compare and contrast personal responses to 2 or more pieces of music, citing evidence from the music as support. This little check mark here shows that you have selected it. You could add it as a learning objective. Now you get these cool little options. Individually assign. You can individually assign items to students if you so choose. If you had a small group that you just wanted them to do that, they could do it. If you wanted the whole class to do it, you would leave it unchecked. Display in Schoology. Now, based on what we said earlier, this link will not work embedded within Schoology. It will pop open in a new window. So I don't want display in Schoology turned on. I said display in new window. And just for the fun of it, because I can change this later, I'm going to show you what happens when you do try to just display it in Schoology. This green button means that it's published to students, so you can publish or unpublish things. This is another cool feature, copy to courses. All this work that we're doing here now within a folder, you can copy that entire folder to another course, which allows you to only do these steps one time, and then you just copy it to another course. So for right now, let me show you what happens if I were to put it just display in Schoology. Add. Takes a little bit. So there's your standards, and it shows up for you as well as your students. So if I were to click this, it should show up in a page here. But it doesn't. So I can go back to the lessons.
Options.
Yes, the options. Click on edit in this little cogwheel. Everything is still there. right here, display in Schoology. Turn that off. It will display in a new window. Save changes. The link is still there. I click on the link. It automatically populates a new window. So if you have problems trying to embed things within Schoology, automatically make it pop into a new window, which gives, yes, it's a little bit outside of Schoology, but it still gives your students the opportunity to go straight to the website without having to type in anything extra, and they can toggle back to that lesson. So if we were to look at the lesson, there are some, I want to have this open here. There are some body percussion things that Denise has given. Create your own body percussion patterns. Learn about the Star Spangled Banner. Perfect. That opens right up for your students. And then you got a Star Spangled Banner worksheet. You have a Lift Every Voice and Sing worksheet as well. Now, there's a way to save this, but I'm still trying to figure out just how to save a PDF as a Google Doc. I have been working on that. And so that will be available for me to figure out by the time we have another webinar, so that I can share with you just how to share PDFs within there. Now, granted, we can just type these questions out, but I know that that's extra work for us. So I know that will be forthcoming in an additional webinar on just how to do that, because I haven't quite figured that out yet. If you have and you know the answer to that, please feel free to put it in the chat. Then there's a performance of Kirk Franklin's Lift Every Voice and Sing. She shows you the search tool. So let's say I wanted my students to answer these questions about it. What I could do is come up here to the top. There's the worksheet. So the students could use the worksheet, just open it right up, and they could answer the questions within Schoology. Well, how would you do that? Add materials. Nope, I don't want to do that here. I don't want to put it within the same link, because I want it to be right after the link. And I went a little bit too far back, but that's okay. Nothing that a scroll won't fix. So I have the link is one thing, and I want to add another material. And you can either click there, or there's this little green plus sign that does the same thing, that allows you to add something. So let's say we wanted to add an assignment. So we could call this Lift Every Voice and Sing. Answer the questions below. I could put the questions here in the description. I could also set this up as a Google Drive assignment or as a OneDrive assignment. So it works for those of you that have Google, or it works for those of you that are using a Microsoft suite. I'm going to say that this assignment is 4 points, just because I can. I will put a due date of, let's see, today's the 26th. So I'll put a due date of the 28th at 11:59 p.m. You can select a category. I just say classwork, period, first semester. Ooh. I'm not going to put first semester just yet, because I have my classes already linked. It would line up to your student information system. I could align this with learning objectives. Again, if you wanted to do that. Get these here, right? What instrument starts the recording? Second question was, what voices can you hear? I'll just do those two for right now, for time's sake. Now, I can insert a file there so that the students see the worksheet if it was downloaded. I can insert a link if I wanted to show them a different video. I can insert another resource if I had something saved to my resources that would help them with this question. Do an audio or video recording. So even though I have this written out, I'm going to do an audio and video. I'll see if I can do an audio and video recording since I'm using Zoom at this point in time. Let's see what happens. Something went wrong. It's because I'm already using my camera for this Zoom. So again, this is just a way for you to see if you have an error message pop up, this is why. So I'll do an audio recording. Let's start recording. Hi, boys and girls. Oh, I meant to say, hi, friends. Please answer the questions below. What instrument did you hear start the recording? What types of voices did you hear? You may write your answers, or you may send me a video or audio file for your work. Thank you. And then you can play back your audio. Or not. But it would be there normally if I wasn't. Let's just see what happens when I insert the recording. So I have a recording that I've done there. So I've named it, I've given it a description, I put audio recording so the students that can't read it can at least hear me say it. Then, again, you still have all these options. You can align it with something, individually assign, lock the assignment, enable submissions. That means your students can submit work, publish it to students, detect grade statistics. They can comment on it. Again, that lovely little button, copy to courses. So here is the coup d'etat. The amazing thing about this program. I want to see what it looks like with my students. You have that option, although it is very limited. View course as. I went up to course options, view course as. And I can pick any student in here so I can see what it looks like. I'm going to choose Anna. This is what my course looks like to Anna Calhoun. You can notice over here, since I put a time and date on it, that's where her upcoming assignments are. So I can see my upcoming assignments that my students will need to turn in for me for this course, and the students can see that as well. So they have no excuses as to not know what is due. I did not put anything on here so that she said that she had to complete something. Sixth grade, week 3. See the course. She could click next through here to get to everything, and then she could see my questions. Now, for the student view, like the comments here are for teachers and possibly students. Go up over here. If you were recording it yourself, I'm sure it would record better. This is what happens sometimes when we just didn't work, and that's okay. It's a trial and error situation with a lot of things technology. So the students would have been able to see or hear the instructions on this song. So I hope that we've taken some time today to give you guys just some ideas of how you can set up folders for your classes. We are actually working through that this week with school just now starting, how to set up our folders. But this was just a really quick overview of Schoology. I didn't even get to some of the courses. I have all my courses listed. This was the course that we were in today. These are all of my lovely general music courses that were uploaded Friday afternoon, and my school began on Monday. So I haven't had the opportunity to change what they look like yet. So I will be doing that this week some. You also have groups. I was an ambassador, or still am an ambassador for Schoology with my school district. So that was a group that we were in. This was another group I was added to. I created this group. You can tell by the little star. I'm an admin in that group, and this is my school group. You also have resources, and there are a ton of resources. I just created a random folder that said week 1 lessons. I added an announcement. And this is when I did the announcements for my school back in April. I just added something to show how you can add in a video. But you have personal resources. There are tons of public resources on here. You have group resources. Ooh. You can see these that were added for us. So I have some from Fine Arts. I have courses added for ambassadors, courses that we have put together as resources for our school district and my school staff. We haven't added anything to that. So I could use district resources that they've uploaded, and our school hasn't uploaded any. You also have a ton of apps that you can download and use. I've already downloaded these for myself. This right here shows you where you can download apps. In an app center, some of them are able for you to be downloaded, others not so much, simply because they're paid apps. You can see the ones that I have based on where it says resource app. Evernote is a resource that I can use. Dropbox, I have my Dropbox attached to this. There's a lot of things that you can do to add resources, and some will depend on what your district provides. Right here in the corner is where you would normally see Schoology. My district has an enterprise account. That means that your school district logo and or colors would show up. So it shows that it's a private enterprise account. Otherwise, in the corner here, it would say Schoology. I know that's a lot of information. Stephanie, do you feel like we've left anything out today?
One thing that I want to add, I'm going to go back here to the Musicplay course. And you had mentioned the must complete. So when you are putting together a lesson or an assignment, excuse me, in anywhere within Schoology, up here on the options, you have two things. Save course to resources. This is really important if you have things that you want to use from year to year to year. If it's saved in resources, then when your courses get archived at the end of the school year, you still have all of your materials. They don't go bye-bye, which we all know would be devastating because we've put so much time into creating everything. We really like being able to reuse them. I know I do. The other thing is student completion. So I'm going to go in here. And did you do two things here, Jeaneau?
I did.
You did. Excellent. Perfect. So if I go to student completion, so here you can individually assign student completion. So requirement, you can select that they are completed in sequential order. If you don't care what order, you just do. So add requirement, just click on that. So for the link, it gives you that option. Member must view the item. Add requirement. Now we've got the drop down. Lift every voice and sing. Due dates will be removed. They must view the item, post a comment or reply, make a submission, or have a minimum score. So let's do, since these are 6th graders, let's have them make a submission. Due dates for items will be removed. That's just giving you that little warning there. But if you notice, you can do these, you can add multiple things and do this all in one click. When I discovered this, I got way too excited because that's the way I do. That's the way things happen when I discover these really awesome shortcuts. So save changes and done. So now the students have to view the lesson and they have to make a submission for Lift Every Voice and Sing. And those are now live. That took a whole, if I hadn't stopped to talk you through it, it would have taken about 10 seconds to do that. So I think that's just about everything that we wanted to cover, and we will stop the recording and go ahead and we'll get to some questions and answers that you have had while we've been talking.
And we thank you, and we will see you live in just a quick moment. Yes, we have the copies. Try again. Showing. Correct? Okay. So right here, I have a couple of videos This one says create editable PDF, and you can find that on YouTube.
Turn a PDF into a document that your students can write on. So for this example, I'm going to take this worksheet about living and non-living things, and I want students to.
And what you can do with that particular video, it is by Michael Cullen. So you can look up that video. I can also post this video in the Musicplay teachers Facebook chat. So I can do that for you as well, so that you have access to this video of it. There's another video too as to how to embed a Google form in Schoology as well.
Hello. In today's tutorial, I will show you how to embed a Google.
This is from Melicity at Strawberries and Sunshine. So she has another, she has a video too. So those are two videos that I will happily put in the Musicplay teachers chat, so that people will be able to see those, not the chat on Facebook, so that you guys will be able to see it. And I'm going to stop sharing. Another great
So for right now, we need to URL to put it into to get the links to work, because it's not set up just yet to be able to do the individual songs. I believe that that is coming with the rebuild of the website. Denise, can you can confirm that? Yes,
I can confirm that. So is doing what Jeaneau did and copying the URL of the entire learning module, and then the kids will go straight to the learning module and can work through whichever of the activities you've suggested that they do.
Okay, the next question that we had is using Stream with Musicplay. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to share this one. And are we sharing? Yes, we are. All right, so this is from my O365, Office 365. I went and selected Stream. You can get to it from here, from the array up here, and Stream, and just click on it. And then if you go to Create, you can record screen. So I'll do that. Record your screen. Let's see, which screen am I recording? The webinar. Share, it gives me a countdown, gives me a time to get here. And so if I'm here on online learning, it's now recording, and you can see that I'm in the bottom corner. And so I can talk about how I'm doing things. Okay, let's go over the virtual music rules. Click on that. I can learn I will learn a chant about virtual rules, say the chant with accompaniment, create body percussion. You can talk your way through all of this. And then when you're done, let me take my water out of the way here. Go back to Stream, and I'm going to pause it. And next. So you have up to 15 minutes for your stream, for recording the screen. And then it'll go to, so I can review the recording. I can record it again if I don't like it, upload to Stream, and then it'll come into my library. And then you can just share it from there into your Schoology. And the Microsoft products do talk nicely with Schoology. They work well with there. So I'm going to not save this one. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So
okay,
you're still
you
seeing my
individually
screen
add all of your.
for some reason.
No, you're good.
There we go. Okay, yeah,
Do
I
you
can see us now.
individually add all of your kids? Courses were populated by my school district Friday afternoon at 2:30. So that's when all of my kids were uploaded. So I wouldn't recommend you creating courses to add your students to. Allow your district to do that because you might mess something up. And ours syncs with the Gradebook, so don't do that. How do you add the student progress button? That may have been covered in the video. How do students submit on Schoology? They can submit multiple ways. They can turn in an assignment. They can submit a quiz grade. They can do a video. And those 2 videos that I will post to the Musicplay teachers page on Facebook will give you some better ideas of how you can insert worksheets. Because one of them talks about how you can put text boxes in the areas where there are blanks and then have the students answer those questions with a little drop down menu, and then it grades the worksheet itself. So how cool is that? For me, as far as videos, what I use to create videos, there is a video thing on Schoology. It's the little microphone thing where I tried to add audio and video. So you can use that, and that will record up to 10 minutes of video. We also, in Arkansas, have something called Arkansas Sandbox that we use with our eSchool passwords. So I can connect to that and record up to 60 minutes of video. I can do a screen record. I can do a video audio record. And then I can upload that into Schoology as well. The All About Me activity. I just made it up. I totally made it up just to have something hidden. Seriously. And some of the reasons that you can't see some of the things that we did beforehand, when my district uploaded my courses, my picture disappeared. So when we made this recording, I didn't know that some of those things were missing. So I've had to put in my picture again. And so some of the responses that were there may not be there anymore based on the configuration of how the district uploaded the classes. You can share quizzes and other things. These questions are absolutely great, y'all. And I'm sorry if I'm talking too much, but you can share things with other people. I did this with my kindergarten teachers today. They created a group. So you can create groups with your different colleagues, even at different schools. So if you wanted to create a music group, we created a music group and make everyone an admin in that group. That way they can share resources, they can create resources, they can add things to the group. I'm not in any of the groups that did that today, so I can't show you that, but it's actually, I can.
Well, and while
I'm
Jeaneau is getting there, my district is in the process right now of putting together lessons and getting them uploaded into Schoology. This week, we need to have that done by Friday. So there's a group of us that are doing that. I'm trying to get lessons for the first 6 weeks.
Okay, so these are my courses. You can see I've been able to change the front page. My district is using Musicplay and Quaver. So I have both names in here. And if I go to my dashboard, I have the teacher's name. You can see where I'm in the instructor on that. But in groups, we have our elementary music teachers group, and we have our members. And you see the little symbol next to everyone's name. That means that they are all admins. So anybody that's an admin can add to the group and will be able to share things within the group. And we have a few resources that are there. So our standards and frameworks are there. And since I'm here, and I know this question was asked, how did I upload the PDF? And I can show you that right now. I could not show you earlier because I was using Stephanie's computer to share a screen and my computer. So we'll take just a moment right now and I can show you if I wanted to add the online guide for Musicplay. I click on Add Materials, Add File, click on File, Attach Files, and I have this downloaded in my Dropbox. So I just scroll through my Dropbox, see how fast I can find it. There it is. Online Help Guide for MusicplayOnline. I open the file. It's uploaded. Don't want to align any objectives. It's individually assigned, published to students, copy to courses. I add it. And there it appears right here. And it really doesn't take long. If I wanted to move it around, I can move it to the top. And it is still within the 6th grade lesson. So if I clicked on that thumbnail right here, 6th grade lessons, there's the help guide, week 3, and lift every voice and sing. Now that was kind of a quick way to do that, but that's how that works. Yes, you can share messages easily if they do not submit something. They will have those notifications in the side where they can see what work that they have is due. There's a way to send messages. I'll go back to share my screen and I can show you where those are. Okay. Course options. I can send a message right here. And it can go to all members. It can go to admins, or it can just go to members. And everybody in the course would get the message. Again, you can share a file, you can add a link, you can copy something from resources, or you can do an audio video recording and send it. I can also look at the members. Okay. See, this is where Stephanie has been renamed over here, but that's neither here nor there. That's something that we know about. When this is why you kind of wait to add stuff, because weird things happen as districts merge everything together. You want to take some other questions, Steph?
Sure. So where did you, I was kind of looking at a couple of other things. Where did you end? Can you save the PDF into Microsoft and 365? I think so. There should be a way to do that. I would have to play around and double check how to do that. Let's see. Denise, can you take the question about closed captioning?
I can. I don't. With the rebuild of the website, we're enabling more accessibility for it. We have actually one teacher with us that is blind, and so she's been giving us an awful lot of feedback on how she is able to access things. And I think this is what it's about. So I think the captioning is going to be something. I don't know for sure. I should say that. But I think that's something that may happen in the rebuild. And if not in version 1, it's something that we're aware of. I'll also take question 13. I understand Musicplay activities can't be embedded. So you can link directly to the rhythm composition, the melody composition, the tempo tool. You can give kids a link directly to any of those 3. You can get kids to songs by copying the URL when you use the search engine. So if you try it at home, go to MusicplayOnline, search for the song Chester, and then copy the URL. You can give that song link directly to your students. You can link to sections. So rhythm practice, solfa practice, guitar, ukulele, recorder. You can link to those sections, but you'll have to tell students which tab and activity you want them to do. So the linking question I've answered quite a few times on Facebook, but it keeps coming up. So the answer is, in this version, you don't have great linkability to every activity, but you can certainly link to a lot of them.
And then back to the captioning question with Stream. Stream will actually do a transcript automatically, and it's not perfect, but it's close, depending on how clearly you speak. And there's a question, Denise, on the chat about if MusicplayOnline will be able to play within Schoology when the reboot gets done, because I believe that it'll play within like Canvas and Seesaw, if I remember correctly from those sessions during the Odyssey. Is that something that's going to be available with Schoology? Do you know the answer to that?
Well, I think what Jeaneau has shown us is that you can embed a link into your activity on Schoology, and it takes kids to the site. And that, I think, is what most teachers are looking for. So you embed the link in your assignment. Jeaneau, correct me if I'm wrong. You embed the link in your assignment. I saw how you were doing it on the video. And then when the kids click that link, they go to MusicplayOnline. I don't think they stay within Schoology. It's an external link, so they're going to leave and go to Schoology. But yes, you can embed the links in the LMS platform.
I think the question is to keep those kids from going to another tab and just keeping them within the one place is more the motivation behind the question, and that's especially important for our little ones.
Mm-hmm.
It may be that we could do it. Oh, links will be directly to videos, says Carrie Lynn. So we may have to wait for the rebuild, and that's why we'll do another webinar once the rebuild is complete, so that you'll be able to see just how it links within Schoology. Is it better to create a new course? Now, if you want to create a course like I did, that is totally fine. You can put whatever you want in that course, but make sure whatever you put or whatever you create and you want to save, you save it to resources, because the courses go bye-bye at the end of the year, and so does all the material within those courses. They are archived, but if you save everything to a folder in resources, then you're good. There's a way that you can do that as well. The link should work in any LMS platform. Again, it may show up in your LMS, or you may have to do it to where it opens in a new window. And you can make a video telling your kids, hey, this is going to open in a new window, but make sure you go back to the tab. They can do it. Yes, you can make folders within a folder. I did that with a 5th grade teacher today. She created a 9 weeks folder, and then she had the current, like a week folder, and then she put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so you can have folders and then a subfolder and then a subfolder within that. And then that way, if you wanted to just copy the students, you can copy the week, let that be available to the students, however you wanted to do it. The apps, there's a little 4 square thing that you can do that. I'll share again and show you where that is. It is. This is where your apps are. And depending upon your level of, whether you're in the free version or in an enterprise school version, we'll be able to tell you which apps you can use. Also, if your students haven't been downloaded, you probably won't be able to add a bunch of anything. So Google Drive is already added this, so I can install it. I agree, but you have to select the courses that you want it to go with. And my sandbox has been changed again. Okay, but you would have to add it to the sections that you wanted it to be installed in. So if I added this Google Drive app, I could install it to all of those courses. So that way the kids could use Google Drive assignments to be able to submit. But I have to assign it to those courses, and it gives you a description. So that is where your app store is. And some of those apps are paid and they may be pushed out by your district. It all depends.
Your district can have or not use whichever apps that they are choosing to based on the platforms that you're using. My district, for example, is a Microsoft district, so a lot of the Google things we're not using Dropbox. District, the Google stuff and Dropbox, and so it just all depends on what your district has decided, which elements your district has decided they want to make accessible to teachers and to the students.
And in our PowerPoint that's in the resources, we have left our contact information. We both have Gmail accounts. Feel free to email us there. You can find us on Facebook and you can find us on Instagram. And I will do my best to answer any questions. That's literally what I've been doing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We started in-person school Monday. So I have been fielding Schoology questions all week.
And we're so glad that you were able to give us this time. Were you going to answer 21 and 22 questions before we close up? What if they don't make a submission? And how do they know how submission to make?
That's a really good question. I don't know. It will show that they have late work so that the students will know. I can send them a message. I can do a video recording to let them know to turn in work. And I don't know. That might be something I answer for the next session, because by then I will know what it looks like from students turning in work, because we are having those questions this week with, did I do everything I was supposed to do? And right now we're saying, yes, maybe. So as we get into this a little bit more, we'll be able to see how students can make submissions. But there is a way for them to make, once you assign something, they know that it's their, you always have to put a due date with it. And then you can decide if you want to allow late work and things of that nature. Did we cover everything, Steph?
I think so.
So
I think we
I'm
did.
going
I
to
think
say
we got it all.
Everybody give lots of applause to Jeaneau and Stephanie. It's taken them many, many hours to put that video together. The cool thing about this collaboration, it started with the Online Odyssey in the chat. So the chat that you've been participating in today is where Stephanie and Jeaneau met, and now they're chatting via other means, which is totally and completely cool. So both Jeaneau and Stephanie are active in the Musicplay Teachers group on Facebook. So if you want immediate answers to your questions, post there, and they're looking at it lots of times during the day. Or you can find their
And tag us if you can so that we make sure that we see it.
Yeah, and tag them, absolutely. But a huge thank you to Jeaneau and Stephanie. I learned lots today. I admire so much the teachers that are using all these platforms, having to learn all these platforms. I think my brain would explode. It's a good thing you're younger than me. So thanks everybody for joining us today, and we'll see you again next Wednesday with a session on Google Classroom and Kathleen Tyson. Thank you.